it's very clear in the United States that she is the most left-wing candidate we've ever seen, more than McGovern, more than Mike Dukakis, more than Jimmy Carter's second term, much more than Obama, even Obama and Bill Clinton. And then everybody thought to balance that, she would get Josh Shapiro. But that party is so far left, she picked a clone of herself without even checking him. So now we have the two most left-wing nominees we've ever seen in this country. That's not exaggeration.
What does it mean when a nation's leadership veers further left than ever before? In this conversation, Victor Davis Hanson reflects on the evolving landscape of American politics, particularly the challenges posed by the Biden-Harris administration. He discusses how Kamala Harris and Governor Walz represent a significant shift towards the left. Hanson notes the irony in Harris's campaign, where she critiques a record she has been a part of, all while facing difficulties in public communication and limited media appearances.
And they both have character problems in the sense that she can't speak publicly because she gets tied up in these word salads and cackling. So they've kept her, she hasn't given a press conference in 1 month. He's already in all sorts of lies and contortions about his military record and his letting. So the question is, will Donald Trump, with limited resources, and J.D. Vance, will they be able to explain to the Americans every single issue that they embrace? Joe Biden has tried on the border, hyperinflation. They failed. They are going to go even further down that line. And do they have the discipline to get that message out? Well, so far they're flummoxed. So, Trump gets off topic. He was talking about the Georgia. He says Governor Kemp, who's already endorsed him, he gets at a rally and says, he and I had a big fight and he wouldn't let me do this. And then the next day it's Kamala Harris isn't black. And they only have 90 days because the Democrats launched this ambush very late, deliberately so. And then they look back at 2020 and they said, we've got a paradigm. It worked. We take the candidate, Joe Biden, and we don't let him anywhere out of his basement, and we outsource his campaign to the media and surrogates. And then we change the voting laws so traditionally 70% vote on election day, and now 70% won't. They'll vote with mail-in ballots, which can't be authenticated or adjudicated and are overwhelmingly Democrat. Then the third element was, and we're going to outraise them. We're going to get Silicon Valley, Hollywood, and Wall Street. And then the fourth is, we're going to reinvent Joe Biden as good old Joe from Scranton, the working man moderate. So now they look at that paradigm and they think, she's not cognitively challenged, but she is linguistically challenged. So we're going to keep her off the campaign trail like Biden. And we're going to raise the money from the same sources like Biden. And we're going to reinvent her as a moderate. And she's already renounced almost every position that she's had. And Walz is trying to catch up. And then we're going to rely on these swing states where we sued to change the voting laws. And by that, I mean mail-in ballots are mailed out to everybody who's registered. If the name doesn't match the register, it's okay. They can come in 10 days after the election is over. The error rate on a mail-in ballot was traditionally 5% of all were rejected. It went down to about 0.3. So they're relying on that system. And I don't think the Republicans, so they only have 85 days left. They haven't quite figured that. They couldn't do it in 2020. And they don't seem to me to be aware of what they're up against because they're about 2 weeks late in the campaign. They keep saying, we were ahead of Biden by 8 points. Donald Trump destroyed Biden. He was a disaster. Look what we did. Even they admitted, they agreed with us. Well, that's ancient history. It doesn't matter now. What happens in the United States is when a Republican governor gets a Republican legislature in states like Texas, in Georgia, Florida, Ohio, now the first thing they were doing are requiring a driver's license, and they're outlawing third-party ballot harvesting, post-election ballot curing, and they're pretty good at it. Virginia, Glenn Youngkin has just done that. But the problem is the election's not going to be yet. It's going to be decided in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia, North Carolina, Arizona, Nevada, and that hasn't happened yet there. And so, and then the left is very astute, because as soon as you start talking about driver's license, it's racist. As soon as you say you let in 10 million people, and under the system of mail-in ballots, you're going to mail it to the residents as soon as they get a food or subsidy card from the government, then they're on a list and they get a ballot. How dare you say that? You're impugning the reputation of Mexican nationals. You're racist. And it's very hard to get a strong leader. And it's kind of a paradox, because the only type of people who are immune to that have to have such a fierce character and have to be so disdainful that they're like Trump. We can't deal with these people. So this guy comes in and he knows how to deal with them, because he has a set of skills. He just dismisses them. But in the process of dealing with them, he makes some progress. We don't have politicians that can take on this Borg or blob or whatever it is, this postmodern group, with traditional methodologies. But we do have people like Trump. In fact, the Biden idea of allies came from Trump. So that's the iron. All he talks about is the Anglosphere and the English-speaking countries, and we've got to protect Australia. We've got to build up our Navy, and we got all kinds of allies. We got those wonderful Japanese, those wonderful South Koreans, those wonderful Aussies, those wonderful New Zealand. We're all going to get together, and we're going to be the leader, and we're going to stand strong against China, and they won't screw around with that kind of stuff.
Hanson emphasizes the importance of the upcoming months, suggesting that the outcome will have significant implications for the future of the country, particularly in terms of economic stability and social cohesion. The discussion invites viewers to consider the stakes and the need for thoughtful engagement as the election draws near. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest content.
One, believe you can, and you're halfway there. Theodore Roosevelt. 2. The only way to achieve the impossible is to believe it is possible. Charles Kingsley. 3. Don't watch the clock. Do what it does. Keep going. Sam Levinson. 4. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Eleanor Roosevelt. 5. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. Arthur Isse. 6. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Steve Jobs. 7. You're never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. C.S. Lewis. 8. Dream big and dare to fail. Norman Vaughn. 9. It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. Confucius. 10. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Winston Churchill.